What's up, everyone? Welcome to the FAA podcast. Technically, it's Football Friday here, anyways, even though it's a Thursday. But the fam's coming into town for graduation, so had to get it done today. Yeah, there's a lot of football going on. Week 8 UFL action. Excited to see that. Not as exciting though. As we thought it might be at this point. 2 playoff spots locked up. More than likely, we know what 4 teams are going to make the playoffs. But we have a bunch of other stuff. NFL schedule released last night. And, of course, we're going to keep our draft recaps going with Chargers and the G-Men today. So, not really any breaking news, so we'll go to regular news. College football, 100 days away from the college football season. Exciting stuff. I read a great article on ESPN today. The 100 Days Out article gives you all the breakdown of what you need to know, the most important stuff for the upcoming 2024 college football season. Transfer portal, just a couple guys on the move. New Mexico State tight end Eli Stowers. He has committed to Vanderbilt. So Vandy getting a dual threat option there. Plays tight end, can play quarterback, has played quarterback in the past. So a rushing and receiving threat there. And Oklahoma quarterback General Booty has found a home. It is with UL Monroe. Very intriguing path from Oklahoma to UL Monroe. But again, he's probably one of the guys that just couldn't find a spot. So he's like, well, I guess UL Monroe's it.
Yeah. Hey, he's in the Hall of Names, so he's got that going for him.
Yeah, that he does. So make sure you watch UL Monroe games, the Warhawks, to watch Mr. Booty out there. UFL news. So we have the clinching scenarios. There's 3 of them this weekend. So we know who's going to be in the USFL Conference Championship. It's the Stallions and the Panthers. However, Birmingham can lock up the number 1 seed and home field advantage for that playoff game with a win and a Michigan loss to the Memphis Showboats in Detroit this weekend. The XFL Conference, we can lock that playoff game down this weekend. All that needs to happen for St. Louis is they need to beat the DC Defenders at home. And then for San Antonio, they need a win, and they need St. Louis to beat DC in St. Louis. So it all comes down really to that St. Louis-DC game. If St. Louis wins, more than likely, we're going to get the XFL Conference Championship game locked up as well. We'll have to wait and see down the stretch, though. That'll be the big thing. If that occurs, which one, if it's going to be St. Louis or San Antonio that gets that home field advantage. I think a bigger deal for St. Louis, considering they have the biggest crowd and probably the best home field in the UFL. Injury-wise, a couple guys out for the remaining 3 games of the season. Roughnecks, linebacker Gabriel Sewell, he is out for the year, as is Defenders wide receiver Kelvin Harmon. Harmon has a hamstring injury. The Defenders also placed Harmon and quarterback DeAndre Francois both on IR this week. The Defenders also released running back Zaquandre White in a couple roster shakeup moves. Sticking with DC in the signings here, they signed former Austin P quarterback Mike DeLello, went undrafted in the 2024 NFL draft. He's actually the second undrafted free agent from this year's draft that the Defenders have signed this week. They also signed wide receiver Monroe Young from Cal to fill Harmon's spot on the roster as well. The Michigan Panthers reuniting with familiar face, defensive end Levi Bell signing back with Michigan, was a pick in the college draft last year, spent some time on the Seahawks practice squad, now finally back with the Michigan Panthers for their playoff run. And the Brahmas signing a couple guys on the defensive side, defensive end Terkius Tisdale and defensive tackle Jalen Twyman. Tisdale played with the Defenders earlier this year and last season, and Twyman played with the Stallions earlier this season. NFL news. So let's talk about the schedule. The NFL schedule was released last night. One thing to note, Netflix is getting in on the broadcast game. They are going to broadcast the Christmas Day doubleheader this year, and they are going to broadcast at least one holiday game through 2026. So just another service people gotta, if you didn't already have Netflix, you gotta add it if you want to watch any of the Christmas games this year and the years going forward in the next 3 seasons.
Yeah, it's definitely become egregious, let's say, I guess, about how many different, I mean, you want to be able to get this to your audience and just making them, I feel bad for like older, viewers who love the game. Like so many people like are like, oh, they don't do any of this, they just have cable. So I don't know.
Yeah, I love cable. I love cable because it's live. It's live. It's not 30 seconds delayed like streaming is. So like I'll get notification like if I'm watching, one of the Prime games or one of the, I don't have NFL Network on cable, so I have to stream that. But if I'm watching like an NFL Network game, like I'll get the updates on my phone before I see it on the TV because it's delayed. So that's why I hate streaming. But I'm a boomer at heart. All right. Let's talk about week 1 before we go to like I didn't really look at the whole schedule, but just like everyone wants to talk week 1. So we had the opener, the Ravens at the Chiefs on September 5th. Then we had the Brazil game the next night on Peacock, the Eagles hosting your Packers in Sao Paulo.
Yes, sir.
I wish I could be there. Jimmy's making me go to his wedding instead. So but then week 1 does have a lot of other interesting games, though. I think one that people aren't talking about enough, probably just because it's a homer pick, but the Steelers at the Falcons. I think that could be a good one. I hate that they have lines already out for these games because, like, bro, we're not even close to the game happening. So I hate that there's betting lines out already.
Yeah.
But
final rosters aren't even it. The training rosters haven't been like put together.
Right. They're banking it all off our lads' depth charts.
Right.
But no, I think that one could be really, really fun. The Steelers have a lot of offensive questions, and of course, we don't know what Kirk's going to look like coming off the Achilles. So, but he did say week 1 he should be good when he was on the NFL schedule release show on ESPN last night.
Unless he starts holding out because they drafted Penix.
No. Another big one in the AFC could be the Jags at the Dolphins. I think that one could be really solid as well. I'm really excited for that one. We'll see if Jacksonville can handle the speed, because I don't know if they will be able to, based off who they got at corner. So, and then Tom Brady's first game as a broadcaster comes in Cleveland, the Cowboys at the Browns on Fox. That one should be good. And then, of course, we got the Sunday night game, the Rams at the Lions. Matthew Stafford returning to Detroit once again. And then Aaron Rodgers closes us out for the second straight year on Monday Night Football. Like they said on ESPN last night, hopefully he can make it to play 5 this year.
Yeah.
That one's insane.
I don't know. Against the Niners, it's not a guarantee.
Right. Well, he should have better protection this year. Maybe Tyron Smith won't make it to play 5, but then we'll get Olu Fashanu in there, luckily for Aaron Rodgers. But yeah, I don't know any other games that stand out. I mean, I had the international games pegged to talk about. I already said about the Sao Paulo. The London games, we have October 6th, the Jets and the Vikings. And then the Jags doing a back-to-back, October 13th and October 20th. October 13th, they are the away team against the Bears. And October 20th, they're the home team against the Patriots. So NFL's giving them some, especially the Patriots one. The Bears one, we don't know. We don't know how the Bears are going to do this year, because they got a lot of new pieces. But the Patriots one, I think, is a little softball there for Jacksonville on their second game in London in 2 weeks. And then the November 10th in Germany, Munich, the Giants play the Panthers. So Bryce Young, yeah.
I saw a tweet. Someone said that subjecting Germany to that game was probably somewhere in like the Nuremberg Treaty, like just that triggered this year.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. The Panthers did not. I hate that they said the Panthers had the third easiest schedule, right? But when I look at it, I'm like, dude, this is not an easy schedule by any regard. Like, they got to play the Eagles. They got to play the Bengals. I think, the Falcons, all 6 of the NFC South games are going to be tough once again. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
The first Thursday night game on Prime is a really good one. Bills at the Dolphins, week 2. I'm excited about that one. Week 2 also has the Bucks and the Lions. Good playoff rematch there. The Bengals at the Chiefs, so 2 big AFC games for the Chiefs out of the bat, right out of the starting gate there. We also get in week 2 Russell Wilson's return to Denver with the Steelers, and Kirk Cousins going to Philly for the Monday night game. I like that one. Just looking at week 3. Got Ravens Cowboys is a good one. 49ers Rams. And then double header on Monday night. Jags at the Bills, the first game of that one. Got a Thursday night matchup in week 4 with the Giants Cowboys. Eagles Bucks playoff rematch in week 4. You have Bills Ravens is Sunday night, week 4. That's a good one. Just looking at week 5, Sunday Night Football is going to be Cowboys-Steelers there. Historic rivalry. Ravens-Bengals, of course, always a good one. Bills-Texans. Stephon Diggs, how is he going to fare against his old team? We'll see.
Love it.
Packers-Rams, week 5 as well in LA. Week 6, the Thursday night, they really upgraded Thursday Night Football this year. 49ers Seahawks. Week 6 Thursday game. The Steelers go back-to-back historic rivalry games. They play the Raiders in week 6 after the Cowboys in week 5. Not a big fan of the week 6 slate. Lions Cowboys, big one there. Bills Jets on Monday Night Football. You got the Eagles Giants. Saquon's return to East Rutherford in week 7. Not really a big fan of that. That's a 1:00 game, but anyways. The Jets Steelers on Sunday Night Football. Texans Packers. That's a good one in Green Bay. Let's see what else we get. Chiefs, the Super Bowl rematch is week 7. Chiefs at the 49ers. That is a afternoon 4:25 game. Week 8, we got Eagles Bengals. Packers Jags. Cowboys 49ers Sunday Night Football. Week 9 Texans Jets open up week 9 on Halloween. How many Texans fans are going to be doing voodoo magic on Aaron Rodgers on Halloween? Who knows? The Jags go to Philly on Sunday night, week 9. We got the Dolphins, Bills. The Lions, Packers, as well as the Bucks, Chiefs on Monday Night Football. Week 10 opens up with the Bengals at the Ravens. You got Eagles, Cowboys, week 10. 49ers, Bucks. Lions at the Texans on Sunday night. Dolphins at the Rams Monday night. I believe that's Jalen Ramsey's return to LA. Week 11, we have the Ravens-Steelers game, Jags-Lions. I know I'm leaving out a lot of teams, pretty much just mentioning the contending teams. The Chiefs-Bills, Texans-Cowboys, Monday night, week 11. Week 12, Eagles-Rams on Sunday night. Could be a good one. 49ers, Packers. There you go. Rematch.
Yeah.
In Lambeau this time.
Yeah. That hasn't mattered in the past, but we'll see.
You got the Harbowl. Harbowl 2.
Nice.
Week 12, Monday Night Football. And then week 13, the Thursday, the Thanksgiving slate, we got the Bears at the Lions. Caleb Williams going to Detroit. Giants at the Cowboys. Why not just give the Cowboys a win? And the Packers host the Dolphins on Thanksgiving night. Sorry, Logan.
What, late November too? I'm chilling, dude.
You better hope it's cold. You better hope it's cold. We also have a Black Friday game there. The Raiders at the Chiefs. Not too excited for that one, to watch Aiden O'Connell go play the Chiefs or Gardner Minshew, whichever one. The Steelers-Bengals, Week 13. The Eagles in Baltimore. Chargers at the Falcons. Texans and the Jags. The 49ers at the Bills. So Week 13 is pretty solid. Thanksgiving week. Week 14, Packers open up in Detroit on Thursday, December 5th. Week 14 also has Kirk Cousins return to Minnesota. The Jets play at the Dolphins. The Bills are at the Rams. I'm intrigued to watch Caleb Williams go to San Francisco. The Chargers are in Kansas City on Sunday night, and the Bengals are in Dallas on Monday night. Week 15 opens up with the big Rams 49ers showdown. The Battle of Pennsylvania is in Week 15. Steelers going across the state to Philly. The Jets go to Jacksonville. Brian Callahan hosts his old team. The Bengals headed to Nashville to play the Titans. Chiefs play at the Browns. The Dolphins are at the Texans. Bills at the Lions. The Bucks at the Chargers. Packers at the Seahawks on Sunday Night Football. Is that flashbacks of too many games against Seattle you lost?
Nah, never.
Brandon Bostic.
Don't say his name.
Battle of the rookie quarterbacks on Monday Night Football, part of the doubleheader in Week 15. Bears at the Vikings. Week 16, you got AFC North, Browns at the Bengals. And then you have two Saturday games, Steelers at the Ravens, Texans at the Chiefs. You have the Rams at the Jets. The 49ers at the Dolphins, and the Bucks at the Cowboys on Sunday Night Football. Week 17, Christmas Day. We have Wednesday football on Christmas. It's fantastic, except that it's on Netflix. The Chiefs are at the Steelers. The Ravens at the Texans. So it's just taking those four teams that played on Saturday the week before, putting them on Wednesday. So that's tough. Like, literally, dude, they have 4 days. They have 3 days in between their games. That's going to be rough.
Yeah.
Especially with four, like, I guess most people wouldn't put the Steelers in the category of the Ravens, Texans, and the Chiefs right now. But to have that big rivalry, Steelers-Ravens, and then to have those two teams have to go and play two of the AFC's best teams in the Chiefs and the Texans, that's tough. Week 17 also has a big one. Cowboys at the Eagles. We have Flex City in Week 17 with a couple of games. None of them, I think, would get flexed in or flexed to Saturday. I don't really like any of those games that they have as flexible. The ones that they could flex to Saturday, they say are the Cardinals at the Rams, Chargers at the Patriots, Broncos at the Bengals, Falcons at the Commanders, and the Colts at the Giants. I don't want to watch any of those games on Saturday as its own like standalone game. Like, no. I mean, they're going to put two of those games on Saturday, but I'd rather not. The Jets go to Buffalo. The Dolphins are at the Browns. The Lions at the 49ers. Week 17, Monday Night Football, NFC Championship game rematch. How much seating wise is that going to affect? And then, of course, Week 18, we have the division games to end it. Big one, Bengals at the Steelers. The Giants at the Eagles. Saints are at the Bucks. Dolphins at the Jets could be a big one. Browns at the Ravens. The Bears are in Lambeau Week 18 as well. So, yeah. A lot of good games. Still a long way away, though, like we were saying. The Giants, they have been selected for Hard Knocks off-season. So now we're going to get off-season, in-season, and the regular Hard Knocks training camp. Fantastic. I really don't know what you can record in the off-season. Like, it's like draft prep. Like, it's January to April. Like, nothing goes on May, July.
I'd love to see it if they're actually going to let us like peek behind the curtain. But like, I feel like a bunch of the stuff is like, you know, in the black box. Like they're not going to be showing you like a ton of stuff. So like how insightful is it really going to be? I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Again, though, they announced it now. So I doubt they recorded anything up until this point. I don't know, though. I have no clue. Let's stick with the Giants. They unveiled a new uniform today that they're going to wear twice. Up to 2 times this year, they said, I guess. So they could wear it once, could wear it twice. I hope they only wear it once because it is literally the ugliest uniform I've ever seen in my life. What is this?
Yeah. Look, we need to abolish khaki jersey pants. Like it's such a bad look. I don't know where we got to put it. If we have to amend the Constitution to do it, we have evolved. There's a reason some things stay in the past, and khaki jersey pants are one of them.
So it's for their 100th anniversary this year. They have the 1933 jersey, the 1938 helmet, and the 1925. That's where we're getting those pants from, Logan.
Straight from 1925. Like I just don't get it. It's like every team had those, like just because like that's what they like wore. You know what I mean? Like the Packers trot out their.
This is almost as bad as the Packers. Almost
right.
It's not as bad, but I don't know if I can.
I think that's one of them that'll be
these ones.
So like to be
the ones I thought the Packers had the ones with a circle logo on it.
There's the other one. That one. Yeah. And what's supposed to be like a leather helmet. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean they're not as bad as these ones. These Giants jerseys are horrendous. I hope they wear it against the Eagles one because that means I'll actually pay attention to them. I'll actually see the jerseys. But yeah, I don't know how you can get excited as a player seeing this and like, oh yeah, definitely want to wear that this year.
It's like it's just so funny too because like Daniel Jones perpetually has that kind of like sad puppy dog like look in his eyes, like it's just like his like resting face. So like put it when they're showing the promos of him with that on, it looks like a punishment. It looks like he did something wrong, and they're putting him in like the
Well, he
dunce
did.
throwbacks.
Well, he did do something wrong. He tore his ACL.
That well,
um, the Steelers are in a little bit of a situation. Defensive tackle Cam Hayward announced he is not going to attend voluntary off-season workouts or OTAs, seeking a contract extension, which I was kind of surprised that he would want an extension. I thought that like he was just going to be done after his contract is up. I guess he's a free agent coming up next year. That's not verified, but this is also it's a big deal. Also, the one of the biggest leaders in the locker room, and he's never missed off-season activities. So Omar Khan, like, do something about it. Pay him whatever he wants. I don't care. He's a franchise staple. Releases the Bills. Wide receiver Quintez Cephas did not last too long in Buffalo. I don't even know if he like got enough days for like hotel rewards points because he signed I think last week and he's gone already. They needed his roster spot, so hopefully he finds a spot somewhere. UFL is open. There are 3 weeks left in the regular season. Maybe a team, you know. Extension. The Patriots, they signed center David Andrews to a 1-year extension. He is now signed through 2025 for 2 years, $12 million, $13 million max value, $8 million fully guaranteed. Some security for Andrews going forward, and knowing he's going to be on the team next season as well. Signings, the Bills. I mentioned they released Quintez Cephas. That's because they signed a better wide receiver. Maybe debatable, but the Chiefs. The Bills signed Chiefs wide receiver Marquez Valdez-Scantling, 1 year, $4.5 million deal. Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't drop the ball, like he could be a good option for Josh Allen, but it's a big if, considering what he did last year.
yeah. I feel like he's just a designated deep threat. Like he's in there, you have to at least like stay honest as a defense, you know. But yeah, I don't know. But I mean, what a crazy run for him of playing with just incredible like quarterbacks. Like that is a sick Rodgers to Mahomes to Josh Allen.
Yeah. The 49ers bulking up on the O-line. They signed Titans offensive tackle Chris Hubbard, a 1 year, $1.375 million deal. Yep, they didn't like that one. Yeah, the cash register did not like that one apparently. But yeah, that was an area of need as far as I remember. The Niners depth chart. They didn't get a tackle in the draft as far as I remember. I don't recall, but yeah,
I think they took one in the third, I think, maybe like a developmental guy.
Oh, okay, maybe I was wrong. Anyways, the Broncos, they signed Bears punter Trenton Gill, so a punting competition, I believe, in Denver. Do not recall who they have because they had Corliss Waitman, but he's now on the Bears, I think. Anyways. The Vikings signed your guy, Bears tight end Robert Tonyan. He's making the NFC North tour.
Yep.
Got one more team to go in 2025.
Yep. Then he'll complete the cycle.
Yeah. Then he can retire a Packer.
Right.
Or go to New York. Whichever one. The Jags today, they signed Titans safety Terrell Edmonds. So veteran depth there as well, as most of these signings are now. All right. That is it for news. So let's go to the UFL pick standings. And yeah, Jimmy's still rolling. Has not lost double digits yet.
Wow.
And he is now 3 games above Alec and I at the top. He's got a lead, 3 weeks left plus 3 playoff games. We'll see if we can catch him. I had a horrendous week last week. My DC Defenders did not get it done. Memphis Showboats got crushed. And the Battlehawks, Alec and I both thought the Battlehawks were going to get it done in Birmingham, and Jimmy lone wolfed them and got it done. All right, first game this week, the Showboats at the Panthers. And yeah, I haven't picked my Memphis Showboats. I hadn't picked them in a while until last week, and I'm going back to not picking them because it's not great. It is not good in Memphis right now. And I was checking to see if we had the betting lines, so they still don't have them out yet since it's only Thursday. But yeah, it has not been great. Coach DiFilippo, it's been a struggle all year. They haven't been able to run the ball. Case Cookus or whoever, Troy Williams, whoever it's been at quarterback, has gotten absolutely pummeled every single week. The offensive line is not protected at all. So they can't run the ball. They can't pass protect. They really can't do a lot on offense right now. And defensively, they're a sieve. The Carnell Lakes defense is getting blown out every week. They allowed 47 last week to Arlington, and they've allowed over 30 points per game the last 5 weeks. Yeah, they've allowed at least 32 points in each of the last 5 games. They aren't even close to the second to last defense in points allowed. They allow 31.1 points per game, 350.7 yards per game. So it's bad. They've allowed over 400 yards 3 times this year. They've only allowed less than 310 yards once, and that was week 1 when they won. So it has not been great. They've lost 6 straight. And Michigan, they know they're in the playoffs. They're still fighting for that number 1 seed, hoping that they can get help from Birmingham and get home field advantage at Ford Field. Michigan should win this game. And it hasn't mattered who the quarterback has been. Last week, they played DC with their 3rd and 4th quarterbacks in Brian Lewerke and Bryce Perkins, and they won by 13 points. So it really hasn't mattered. I expect, though, Bryce Perkins to start this game. He looked better than Lewerke. Lewerke looked really good on that opening drive. They went down, scored a touchdown. But overall, Bryce Perkins looked better. He completed 6 more passes than Lewerke did. 11 of 13 versus 5 out of 13. So I expect Bryce Perkins to start in this one. And I have no clue who's going to start for Memphis. Case Cookus is the better quarterback. The man can't hold the ball, though. He has 5 fumbles this year. And he's tied, I believe, for the league lead in turnovers with 8. So it's not great. This one's 4 p.m. on Fox. Second game on Saturday, the Roughnecks at the Stallions. And yeah, we're all on Birmingham. Again, they can't clinch home field with just a win. They need Michigan to lose against Memphis as well. But I do think they're going to go to 8-0. I mean, this Houston team, they are not going to have a chance, especially not in Birmingham, I don't think. they have their own quarterback issues with Jarek Garantano getting injured last week once again. And the Birmingham defense, on the other hand, has been outstanding. They lead league in points allowed, 16.1. However, they have allowed points the last 2 weeks. They allowed 21 to Memphis. They allowed 26 to St. Louis last week. With that game against St. Louis, though, they did jump into first place in yards allowed. They only allow 233.1 per game. And they lost their first place in sacks because San Antonio had 6 last week. So they are second in sacks with 23. Lead the league in turnovers, though, 12. So they are a beast up front for Skip Holtz and that defense. Adrian Martinez is balling on offense as well. So I don't think Houston's going to have a chance. This is a night game on Saturday, 8 p.m. on ESPN. ESPN 2, I should say. I have no clue it's on ESPN on Saturday. Sunday, the DC Defenders at the Battlehawks. And, yeah, I mean, they're my team. I got to roll. We needed a win last week at home against Michigan. Didn't look great. Our quarterbacks got injured. Jordan Ta'amu and DeAndre Francois both got hurt. Ta'amu, I think, should play this week. Jalen McClendon, though, did look pretty good in his limited action once Francois went down as well. So if Ta'amu isn't 100%, McClendon looked pretty good. He started last year with the Vegas Vipers, has that dual threat element. It's going to be an uphill battle for sure. I mean, going into St. Louis is a tough place to play. And the fact that the Battlehawks are going to be pissed off because they lost to Birmingham last week. And this St. Louis defense has just been absolutely electric. They destroyed DC in DC the first time they played this year, and I'm hoping it can be different. The Greg Williams defense needs to play like they did against San Antonio. I don't know. It's really a pick your poison against this A.J. McCarron-led offense because they can throw the ball. Hakeem Butler, Darius Shepard, Ja'Cour Pearson, just to name a few of the wide receivers. And then if you want to sit back and cover the pass and A.J. McCarron, well, all right, here comes Jacob Sailors running the rocks down the middle of the field. And he can catch the ball too. So it's tough out. But yeah, I'm rolling with my DC Defenders. This is their last stand. They need to win out and have St. Louis and or San Antonio help and have those guys lose a bunch of games. But sure, here we go. This one is 12 o'clock on ABC. And the final game, the Renegades at the Brahmas. I am lone wolfing again. I was surprised. Very surprised at this one. I was not shocked that Alec took the Renegades because that is his team. He has been picking them all season, and that is why he is in the position that he is in the standings. But I was surprised that Jimmy took him. But he's the leader in the standings, so he knows something that I don't apparently. San Antonio, they had to come back against Houston last week. They scored 15 points in the fourth quarter to win the game. But I just believe that this San Antonio team, especially at home, they believe that St. Louis is probably going to win against DC, so they need this win to lock their playoff spot up as well. And I just think despite the quarterback issues that Wade Phillips might be dealing with this San Antonio team, I think Quentin Dormady is going to start again. Really liked what I saw from Kevin Hogan in the comeback last week. And they need to run the ball. The Arlington defense is the second worst in terms of points allowed. They're third worst in yards allowed. And although they are tied for second in turnovers with 10. But I think they need to run the ball. They have the league's leading rusher with John Lovett, 384 yards on 92 carries, 4.2 yards per carry. He is also tied for second in rushing touchdowns with 5. So, yeah, I think they need to run this offense through John Lovett, run the ball, and that is how our San Antonio will be able to get this win. And they're gonna play defense. They're gonna get some turnovers from Luis Perez, who leads the league in passing, by the way. 4 p.m. on Fox. All right, time for the draft recap. So we got the Chargers and the Giants. Draft slots 5 and 6 this year. Starting with the new coach, Jim Harbaugh in LA. His first draft. Joe Alt from Notre Dame, number 5 overall. They went wide receiver Ladd McConkey at 34. 69th in the third, Michigan man, linebacker Junior Colson, one of 2 pupils that Harbaugh drafted this year. 4th round, 105, they got Alabama defense tackle Justin Eboigbe. 5th round, 2 picks, number 137, corner Tarheeb Still, and 140, corner Cam Hart. 6th round, number 181, running back Kimani Vidal. 2 7th rounders, 225, they went wide receiver Brendan Rice, and 253, they went wide receiver Cornelius Johnson, the other Michigan Wolverine for Coach Harbaugh. What was your favorite selection there, Logan?
I really liked this draft for them on the whole. I think my favorite selection was McConkey. I just think he's a really good fit for what they need. I think he can be an explosive kind of vertical threat for them. And for me, it's really just size concerns. Not so much size concerns, injury concerns. Can he stay healthy? Can he see on the field? If he does that, I could see him totally being that wide receiver 1 that Justin Herbert really needs. So I love that pick. Obviously, the alt versus neighbors kind of discussion is interesting. The thing for me is, and why it kind of got long in the tooth seeing Chargers fans complain is like they still needed a tackle. Like they very much needed a right tackle. And if they feel Joe Alt can switch those sides, then he's an outstanding pick at 5. I mean, he's a great tackle prospect. So I didn't hate that. I thought that was a good pick too. Yeah, I mean, I love the strategy with doubling up in the 7th on wide receivers, some big body guys, add some depth there. Maybe you hit on one of those dudes. Yeah, overall, I just thought this was a really solid draft in year 1 for a good old Jimbo.
Yeah, mine was also Ladd McConkey. Super quick in and out of the breaks. I like him more as a slot, even though he can play outside as well, which he's probably going to have to because they didn't have anything once they lost all their receivers this offseason. But yeah, I mean, I do believe he can be a number 1. He's not flashy per se. He kind of just puts his head down and works and is super explosive, underrated explosiveness for McConkey because he made a lot of big field stretching plays at Georgia. But yeah, I like the attacking numbers at positions of need with the 3 wide receivers, the 2 corners as well in the 5th round. I think Cam Hart could be a steal. I know a lot of people liked him coming into the draft as well. I was also a big fan of Justin Eboigbe. Watched him at the Senior Bowl. He has some good interior moves, more speed than power, but it's Alabama defensive lineman. It's hard to miss on those guys. So I think that was a good pick in the 4th round as well. I'm on the opposite side of the Joe Alt selection, though, Logan. I didn't like it. I didn't like the fit in LA. They needed a right tackle. I understand that if he's that good, that, yeah, he can switch. I just thought Joe Alt was going to be a Joe Thomas type of guy, 10-year plus left tackle, franchise cornerstone for a team. And, now he's going to play right tackle. Will that work? Will it won't? Who knows? I thought J.C. Latham was going to be the guy for LA if they were going to go tackle because he had been a right tackle his entire career, or it was going to be the wide receiver and Neighbors, but they went with Alt instead. And like the prospect, but just not the fit.
Yeah, and I totally get that. The way I see it and why I'm optimistic about it is based on just how much the Penei Sewell pick really lifted kind of Detroit. That was one of those things where it's like, okay, you have Taylor Decker. So like, you're going to, but Penei Sewell is supposed to be this generational left tackle. Well, you put him at the right tackle. He's able to make the switch. And he's still, a lockdown OT for you. I'm not sure the LT, RT. I know that traditionally left tackle is more important, right? Because it's the blind side.
Mm-hmm.
But with how mobile a lot of these quarterbacks are in kind of negotiating the pocket, I'm not sure that distinction matters too much anymore. But regardless, like a lot of the best teams have dudes at both of those spots. Yeah. So I agree. I think maybe you could have made the argument, like maybe they should have just gotten one of those more ready-made right tackles, maybe a guy like Latham or Fuaga. But they went with the prospect there. And I think if they're confident enough in him being able to make that switch, I think it's a fair enough.
Yeah, I also thought Latham because of what it is purported that Harbaugh wants to do, which is run the ball.
Mm.
And Latham is a road grading right tackle. Now, Alt can do that, but I thought Alt was more of a diverse pass and run kind of guy. McConkey, though, want to mention he is my top player out of the skill position players on my rookie dynasty big board. Make sure you check that out on the website. Plug that in there. Number 6 overall on my rookie board. Now,
really?
the Chargers ones are tough because I wrote that article prior to the DJ Chark signing, so it is going to affect those numbers. I don't think it affects McConkey necessarily. Maybe it does drop him a couple spots, but it's definitely going to affect my ranking of Brendan Rice, which I had Rice at 17 out of the 78 skill player drafted. I thought Brendan Rice, excellent position to contribute right away as a possibly starting wide receiver, even though they got him in the 7th round. I thought he was worthy of a higher selection. Didn't do a lot at USC, but watching his Colorado tape was really where I liked him a lot. USC, he just got kind of bogged down on the roster, but yeah, I like Brendan Rice a lot. And Cornelius Johnson, I had him at 62. Going to be tough for him to make the roster with the DJ Chark signing now. But and then the only other one, Kimani Vidal, I had him at 56 overall. I didn't like that selection. I didn't really see the need to draft the running back. They already signed the 2 Ravens guys, and they still have Isaiah Spiller there as well. So, he's a productive back from Troy, but I don't know if he even makes the roster because of how much depth they have at running back. Giants-wise, 6th overall, wide receiver league Neighbors. 2nd round went safety Tyler Nubin at 47. 3rd round corner Andrew Phillips, 70th. 4th round tight end Theo Johnson at 107. 5th round, running back Tyrone Tracy Jr. at 166. And the 6th round, they went linebacker Darius Muasau at 183. My favorite player for the Giants here is probably going to be, I mean, it's the first two, but I'm going to not talk about the first rounder because everyone knows about him. I'm going to go Tyler Nubin, Minnesota, 47. One of the best ball production safeties in the draft. 13 interceptions, I believe, in his career. Just crazy, crazy ball skills. Now, the athletic testing numbers, I don't think were necessarily there, which is why he was in the second round. But I really like Tyler Nubin just for the fact that he gets the ball and he doesn't drop it, he doesn't deflect it, he catches it, and he's taking it the other way when he gets his hands on the ball. So I'm excited for Tyler Nubin there.
Yeah, I really liked this draft overall too from the Giants. I think Malik Neighbors is exactly what they need at wide receiver. They needed definitely someone who's more of that typical kind of X, kind of separate. He's not big, but he's not undersized, and he can just be that kind of yak monster kind of for you. Definitely a guy who's explosive that this offense has kind of been lacking. But I really liked the Theo Johnson and Tyrone Tracy picks. I thought that where they were drafted was very good value. I felt like it was potentially positions of need. They had to upgrade the skill positions, and I think they were able to do that with this draft.
Yeah, the one thing that the Giants didn't get, I was just checking because I forgot to say this about the Chargers as well. There were needs left on the board for me, anyways. The Giants, no interior O line, which I thought they needed to upgrade the depth there because they have your guy John Runyon, and they have Jermaine Illuminor, both free agent signings this year. But then behind that, it's not great. They signed Aaron Stinney as well. They have some other guys: Jimmy Morrissey, Jalen Mayfield, Austin Schlottman, Joshua Azudu. But I thought the interior O line probably could have got that instead of the Darius Muasau pick at the end, potentially. And in terms of the Chargers, I thought they needed to get safety. I am not okay with their safety depth at all. Derwin James is great. Alohi Gilman has turned into a great player as a 2026 rounder. But after that, they drafted JT Woods in the 3rd round in 22. But the rest of the 3 guys they have on the roster at safety are all college free agents, undrafted from last year, and 1 from last year, 2 from this year. So I was not a fan of the Chargers not getting a safety, unless they're going to turn. The only one I would say is Tarheeb Still would be the guy that I would turn into a safety because I like Cam Hart at corner. But those were the needs that missed on my board, anyways. But in terms of the Giants, yeah, it was really I didn't hate any of the picks other than, like I said, the Darius Muasau pick was iffy. I know they needed linebackers, but maybe they could have got someone different. I don't know. On my rookie big board, I had Neighbors at number 7, right behind McConkey. The only reason was opportunity. Now, I know Neighbors is going to be, I wrote in my article, I think he's going to be the guy. The Giants they had a bunch of guys. They just never had the guy. So I think Neighbors going to be the guy in New York, but I think McConkey had such better opportunity again before DJ Chark signed. So that's why I ranked him above Neighbors. I had Theo Johnson at 25. Now, I didn't know about the Darren Waller thing when the draft was going on. So I was like, bro, why are they drafting Theo Johnson at the top of the 4th round? But once I heard that, it made a lot more sense. And if Waller does retire, Johnson would shoot up the board. He would probably, I don't remember if he's I don't think he's my second tight end. I could be wrong. He might be, though. No, he's not. He's my 3rd tight end. So I don't know if he'd really jump up in the position rankings because JT Sanders and Brock Bowers are above him for me. But I think he would move up in the overall rankings because he'd get a lot more playing time. And then Tracy I had at 37, so almost pretty much right in the middle of the rankings out of the 78. And I think he's got a great opportunity. I mean, they really only have Devin Singletary. And for a guy that can run and catch, converted wide receiver, I think he's got a good shot at producing and possibly even being the RB2 in his rookie season. All right. Before we end on the drafts here, it's grade time. I just got my grades this week. So the Chargers, I think for the Chargers, I'm going to go a B+. I think it's solid. Again, not as big of a fan of the alt fit. I know a lot of people liked Junior Colson. And then the Vidal one, I didn't like the Vidal pick either.
Yeah, I'm going to go A-, probably just because I'm a little higher on the alt pick. But I'm kind of with you, like, this isn't like oh my God, they like hit it out of the park. But like, this is a very solid, strong draft in year 1 to me. So yeah, deserving of that kind of B+, A- kind of range.
Yeah, and it really did feel like a Ravens draft. So that's where GM Joe Ortiz came from.
Yeah,
it did feel like a Ravens type of draft. For the Giants, what do you got?
I'm going to go B+ too, I think. I think it was really strong. It's tough when you have kind of only 6 picks. But I think they did a good job with what they had. I think they got some starters.
Yeah, you talked me into a B+ because I was going to go A-, but I am one as well that always harps on less picks means a little bit lower of a grade. So yeah, 2 B+ for me here. Again, the only one I didn't like was the Muasau pick, and I think potentially all 5 of their first picks could start. And I think those first 5 out of the 6 are going to play meaningful snaps this year. All right. That is the show for today. Make sure next week we will be back talking UFL week 9. We'll get you all your college football and NFL news, and we'll continue our draft recap series with the Vikings and the Jets. So Jimmy should be back on, and we'll get his take on his new quarterback there in Minnesota, which I'm going to rip. But Monday, not sure if we're going to have a Monday. It might be Tuesday. It's probably going to be a Tuesday show. Because there are festivities that are going on. But probably going to be a Tuesday show. And that show, we're going to do the Titans and the Falcons. So make sure you tune in Tuesday for some Michael Penix talk. Don't forget to follow us on all our social media at FAA Podcast on Instagram and FAA_bets as well. FAApodcast.com is our website. Go check out my article. Dynasty big board there. You can follow us on Facebook, YouTube, X, Instagram, as well as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio. And we will see y'all back on Tuesday.